The U.S. National Academy of Sciences and the United Kingdom's Royal Society put out a new report without really much new information, but they are noting that climate change is happening, says Inez Fung, an atmospheric scientist at the University of California, Berkeley, co-lead author of the report. We see it in temperature. We see it in the melting ice. We see it in the sea level rise. Concentrations of carbon dioxide, the document, increased by 40% between 1880 and 2012 and are now higher than at any time in the last 800,000 years. How do they know this? They know this from core ice samples. As a result, global temperatures are 1.4 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than in 1900. Arctic sea ice is shrinking. Sea levels are 18 inches higher. Ocean acidity is on the rise, and the geographical ranges of many plants and animals are shifting. However, if you are a stockbroker or one who kowtows to them every morning on Squawk Box, this is what is known as witchcraft. According to CNBC's Joe Kernan, talking to Andrew Rohr Sorkin, who apparently took some time off of the find out who is doing parody Twitter accounts beat. Here it is.
Of the climate. So
can I ask a question related to this? But I'm not a scientist, so I don't know. I am told that January 2014 was Earth's fourth warmest on record globally.
Really?
If you take us out of, I mean, not if you don't have to remove us out of it, just on average for the whole globe.
But there were other.
Right,
it was much warmer.
Now, what Andrew Ross Sorkin is explaining here is the concept of just because it's cold in your city, or even in your state, or even in your country, that does not mean that you can extrapolate that for the whole globe. This is a very difficult concept for you if you are, I guess, younger than the age of 9 or 8, or maybe 7. But it's very tricky if you're hosting the morning Squawk Box or whatever it is.
Right, and going back how far?
If you really,
it's 130 years, Andrew. The planet is 4 billion years old. So you're talking about
this is true, but
and also the other warmer months were like in the 90s. Why would there be a warmer month when CO2 was 30% less in the atmosphere back in the 90s? Why isn't it the warmest month every year? I'm just telling you that 130 years.
Why isn't it the warmest? Now, this concept, actually, you probably need to be about 14 or 15 to understand that when you're talking about climate change, really almost when you're talking about any phenomena, it's never a straight line. It's trends. Now, these guys work with trends all the time. This is the functional equivalent of saying, like, hey, it's 10:15. The stock market is down 3 points. You just said the stock market is up for the year. What's that about? It's down today at 10:15. Because we talk about trends, but apparently it's just too hard for this guy to understand.
Years, all of us looking at this, it's almost like witchcraft. In the Middle Ages, it was witchcraft. You would attribute adverse weather events to witchcraft. Now it's just we just have CO2 at this point.
I'm just suggesting that, but even though we live in this very cold environment right now, it feels cold. On a relative basis, it isn't as cold. Supposedly isn't as cold.
But when it's a warm year, then it is because of global warming. But when it's a cold year, ignore it. That's the way everything is.
It's not a cold year.
It's a warm year. Right. But when it is a warm year here,
idiots
like it was cold in Russia.
That they pull us out of it. It's just unbelievable. Just unbelievable. Isn't there somebody at CNBC who just says, hey, this guy's saying that science is witchcraft. I wonder if he goes to his doctor when his doctor says, here's this medication for your high blood pressure. And Joe Kernan said, that's witchcraft. Why not put a couple of parasites on me and dunk me in a big tub or something? See if I float.
Gotta hand it to Andrew Ross Sorkin, though. But until Bank CEO gives him a call and says, our buddies over at Exxon aren't quite happy you're talking about this on air.
That's right. He tried. He really tried. It's unbelievable.